This week, the European Parliament is holding a formal sitting to hear an address by the President of Colombia, Iván Duque Marquez. This was added to the Parliament schedule with the agreement of the majority of the political groups at the last minute. Giving a platform in the European Parliament to this ruthless thug is unacceptable. It exposes the lies of the European Parliament that they care about human rights and international law. Last summer, Colombians from all walks of life took to the streets to protest and strike against corruption, privatisation of healthcare, the mismanagement of the COVID pandemic and systemic unemployment in their country. The protests were peaceful and joined by many young people from the most disadvantaged areas of Colombia. The government of Iván Duque presided over a brutal crackdown against these demonstrations, during which innocent protesters were shot dead in the street by police forces. Videos of these street executions were posted to the internet, and the entire world saw the reign of terror inflicted by the Colombian police. These crackdowns were universally condemned by the human rights organisations and civil society groups, both inside Colombia and internationally. Dozens of people were confirmed to have been killed, hundreds missing, never to be found. And all of this has taken place in the wider context of systemic violence in Colombia, brutal repression of labour organisers and indigenous community leaders, and decades of well-documented human rights and environmental abuses. These problems have been made worse and the peace process endangered by President Iván Duque and the ultra-conservative elements in his political coalition with a record of racism, misogyny and homophobia. The European Parliament is extremely selective in the human rights issues that it takes an interest in. The police crackdowns in Colombia are many times more violent and lethal than the protests in Hong Kong. And yet the European Parliament has had 5 full plenary debates about Hong Kong, none on Colombia, while at the same time giving President Duque pride of place to address us as a friend. What an absolute kick in the teeth for ordinary Colombians. Shame on Iván Duque, drenched in the blood of Colombians, and shame on the European Parliament. We stand in solidarity with the families of the Colombians who have lost their lives, with the union leaders, the civil society activists, the human rights defenders and the students and community leaders risking their lives in the long struggle for justice in Colombia.